You'll never guess who I'm about to review today. I am so blessed that I get to review Bob Dylan, the fucking legend who literally saved rock. Why is Bob Dylan famous? I really don't even know why he's famous. Whatever. So we're gonna review his new album, and it's gonna be... Let's take a look at the album cover, My Rough and Rowdy Ways. Well, folks, here you have the best album cover of the year so far. I promise you, this album cover is fucking genius. Do you realize how high of an IQ you need to put a fucking widescreen fucking photo that doesn't even fit the album cover as the album cover? It looks like a freaking screenshot from a widescreen movie. It's all blurry, the freaking font is weird. It's literally genius. It's insane. It's insane brilliance. That's what it is. This album cover screens insane brilliant, and I love it because I'm an insane brilliant. So let's talk about the music now, because the album cover is just, it's a powerful album cover. We could spend the whole video talking about it. But whatever, let's talk about the freaking, well, it's freaking Bob Dylan. He's 79 years old. Pretty big deal to be 79 years old and releasing your album on your fucking Bob Dylan, because, you know, Bob Dylan is a legend. This very well could be his last album. Hasn't released an album in a long time. This is a pretty important cultural moment here, folks. Very exciting stuff. So if you listen to this album and you don't get it, you don't like it, you don't get why there's all this discussion about it, you have to understand it's a fucking big deal, okay? Even if you don't like it. So... But I'm going to put the cultural relevance aside and give you an honest, straightforward review. So let's talk about it. I Contain Multitudes, the opening song on this album. What do you get? Well, you got gorgeous acoustic guitar, a little bit of soaring, beautiful lap steel guitar, nice texture. Everything's really quiet in the mix, very, very beautifully produced, very quiet, very spacious, wonderful. Gives a lot of space for Bob Dylan's vocals, okay? That's great, because Bob Dylan's vocals, they're pretty damn good here, okay? Bob Dylan's voice, real old, kind of bluesy, like, he sounds old. He sounds fucking old. It's awesome. It's a great old person texture in the mix. Is cool. And he's got these wonderful lyrics. Bob Dylan is wonderful. I mean, Bob Dylan's the best freaking lyricist of all time, and he's continuing to pump out fantastic lyrics on this album. That's still true in this album. And what's so nice is because this album is so slow and so quiet, you can really let every single lyric sink in. You know, like some of the late 60s, early 70s Bob Dylan. They're, quick, fast, energetic rock songs. He's spitting all these lyrics at you, which is great. But here, in Rough and Rowdy Ways, you get the opportunity to listen to an old, wise Bob Dylan reflect on himself, reflect on life, reflect on love, reflect on death, okay? The opening freaking lyrics to this whole album is a lyric about death. Makes you think, is he pulling a David Bowie Black Star where he's releasing one more album as a kind of, goodbye, because he's going to be dying soon? I hope not. But you know what, it's just, this album does reference death a lot, so it kind of makes you think about it. Speaking of, death, like, the last song on this album is a 16-minute song about the death of JFK. What the fuck? Pretty poetic to release such a raw, heavy song about a raw, heavy moment in American political history, coming out right now in a very raw, heavy, explosive moment in American political history. So pretty, there's some poetry there, I'm sure. And it's emotional. Listening to Bob Dylan, last fucking album, he might die soon, he's 79! He's giving this wonderful 16-minute epic song about the death of JFK! What the death of JFK is such an epic, powerful moment in the fucking history, and here's Bob Dylan, last song on the last album of his fucking life, releasing a song in 60 minutes! It's pretty epic, it's pretty beautiful, and the song before that, Key West, a 10-minute song about Bob Dylan freaking just going on about a freaking emotional part of his life, this Key West. He has an emotional connection to this place. Freaking 12 years old, wearing a suit, marrying a prostitute, finding her cute. What the fuck are these lyrics? They're brilliant, and it's so gorgeous. The freaking accordion and the Fiona Apple background vocals. It's just so gorgeous. There's so much gorgeous beauty, beautiful things in this album. It's so powerful. It made me cry. Okay, I'm serious. It made me cry. It's beautiful. And then there's also a False Prophet, which is wonderful, bluesy. Bluesy guitar with the bluesy vocals. It's cool. It's fucking cool. I think it's cool. But it's 70 minutes long of pretty lethargic, slow, music. Like I said, instrumentation is pretty quiet, mostly serves as a canvas for Bob Dylan's vocals, which is nice, but 70 minutes of it is just like, you know, once you get crossing the Rubicon, a 7-minute song that's also pretty bluesy and just, you know, more Bob Dylan kind of gently singing, kind of almost talking over some music. It's just like, folks, if you listen to this album and you get kind of bored, I think that's a totally understandable response. Okay, it's long, quiet, and gentle, and it's it's very low energy and pretty redundant. So it's kind of makes me a little frustrated because it has these beautiful moments. Beautiful, just chills-inducing, makes you want to cry knowing you're listening to Bob Dylan, maybe his last album. And then there's also just like, kind of in the middle, it's just kind of like a crossing the Rubicon. This just becomes a little bit of a slow thing. So my final conclusion on this album. First 4 tracks, fantastic. Last 2 tracks, fantastic. Kind of wish he cut all the other tracks out, because then he would have a nice 40 to 50 minute album that's very consistently awesome, and that would have been fucking sick. But you know what? It's more music, you can't complain about it. It's fucking Bob Dylan. Wow. So I'm gonna give this a 7.9 out of 10. Overall, really enjoyed it. Some flaws, not the masterpiece to close off his career, but a very solid album that I think is a fantastic album to close his career off. And just another great addition to his discography. Pretty fucking badass, Bob Dylan. Now I know why you're famous. You're famous because you're fucking old. Thank you for watching Punk Revolution. Now like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Punk Revolution now.